And I'm back. Welcome back. I shouldn't have to start with God first, but I feel as though I have to. G1 is God first. B1 generally is black first. You know, it gets kind of frustrating. Not for myself, because I just, change the channel. And that's why I reverted my page back to just gaming only kind of a thing, doing mathematics with my seed, and just enjoying life. Just had the fireworks going off around the corner. It's fireworks season. Well, and I don't want my page to be a political news page. Like, I mean, that's just generally what most Gen Xers are rapping about right now, and it's it's still the same division, quote upon, not understanding the difference between first, second, and third party. You know, it's only one political party, and it's the Dixiecrats. And that's mostly the Democrats, but they're on some new neoconservatism now. It's and that's what Joe Biden represented, and they're still running that same play, but then they're trying to act ignorant to the fact of being inclusion of the illegal immigrants. Therefore ignoring foundational Black Americans and our needs and what we've been crying about. It's been real simple. It does go all the way back to Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. Cut the check. You know, you Biden came in and and fired all the black men. Just keep it 100. Those that survived had to hide, or jump ship real quick and find another hookup, you know. And then they, put women in charge and illegals in charge. A lot of them are irregular immigrants, I'm using illegal to be facetious, and they didn't earn the position, you know. So, so they're in foundational Black Americans have been dealing with glass ceilings for the longest time, and the true thing about that glass ceiling is our own businesses and support from people, the business getting support from the people. So, and therein is where the leadership is completely out of control. They're, quote unquote leadership. And I'm consistently exposing them, and it feels kind of weird, like, because they, you got Jamal Bryant pulling out Jesse Jackson in front of a target, and Jesse represents Biden at this point. Jesse's supposed to be home retiring, trying to get around the putt putt golf with his great grandchildren now, and just enjoying his, life, the last days. But he got him out in front of a target, and that's why as soon as the guy asked him the question, he knew what the question was hitting for, because he's supposed to be ignorant of the amount of black jobs that are being lost right now. Excuse me, especially by black women. I'm just keeping it 100. So, but that's not what I'm ready to rap about. You know, I'm chilling. I'm about to play some. It's just the Wii U, and it's my favorite system. Am I being facetious? Kind of. Um, it's a very cool system. The controller is what makes it. And this is one of the things that I point out towards my son, that hey, it'd be cool to get a Switch 2 and have it linked to, you know, our Switch 1s in a similar fashion that the Wii U is built. I can't wait to see what they can do with the Switch One. Well, Switch One, they have a lot of third party peripherals or hardware thing, Joy Cons that work better than the Joy Cons that Nintendo sell. Like that's the big gripe that everybody has with the new Switch 2 is like these Joy Cons aren't better than the Switch One Joy Cons, and that's kind of the meaning behind it that Nintendo is doing, because Apple kind of does the same thing. They make their products basic. I don't care to say generic. They well built. So the Switch 2, I'm sure is well built, but if you really want some real good Joy Cons, like they give that option to the third parties. And so I do want to get some new Joy Cons for my OLED, for example. And I know that there's third party Joy Cons to do just that for me. Mario Kart 8, Infinity, right? There it is. And this was the game that came with my system. And I knew my son wasn't really going to get it at first, because he was only 5 or 6 at the time when I got the system. He was real young. And so that's why I got Mario. What is that game called? Mario 3D World. And he loved that. So he's been a platform player from the day one, But yeah, and I figured I'd play a little bit of, show y'all. It's I ain't never maxed my game out. So because we started playing it on the Switch. So this is the Wii U version, and of course we have way more tracks with the Switch 2 version of Mario Kart 8 and all the DLC. This doesn't have as much DL. This version is the original version of the game. So, figure I'll play a little bit for y'all. 100 CCs. I still got all. Like I think we worked through a lot of these on the Switch 1, on the Switch version of the game. But this is a great game, man. It's you know what I mean? And I think the experience is a little bit different. I didn't want to go low CCs. I guess so. I'm surprised that's all opened up, though. Tanuki. So it's way more tracks. It's my hold up 1, 2, 3, 4, 12. It's like 24 tracks on the Switch version, because it has some extra DLC, So, but yeah, this is the now they got a brand new one for the Switch 2, called they, instead of calling it 9, it's called Mario Kart World or something like that. So, but good game, very good game. This right here is technically the best Mario Kart of all time until the other one outsells it, and it has the potential to do that. But it is what it is. There it is. Oh, see that part right there is different. See, I wouldn't have felt like that on the what's the name version. Oh jeez, I'm doing horrible. Yeah, I don't think it falls like that on the Switch version. Wow. Yeah, this is a different game. Yeah, the drifting and everything is different. The controller is different. Oh, jeez, I should stop trying to do that. Oh, jeez. That was dangerous. I need to play this one more. Oh, come on, that was corny. Oh, that was corny. I'm just wasting. There's no way I'm trying that shortcut. Mario did it and passed me on it. Oh, come on. This is a different game. I gotta get back to trying this one. Should I try it? Woo! Way to come back at the end there. See that? There it is. There it is, right? There it is. That's all I'm gonna do for y'all. Different game. I need to practice some more. I'm so used to this the Switch version. Of course, this hand control is a little different. It's basically showing me, I can play it just in my handheld. I'm over here looking at the screen. I can just play it in my hand. So we can watch out the replay a little bit. See how good I did. So yeah, basically I can just play it in my hand. I don't have to. I'm looking at the big screen, and maybe that was why I wasn't doing as well. Also, so it's just a double play. They should have gave it a little different vibe on the handheld portion of it. Kind of like the only not too many games do different from what's on the handheld and what's on the screen. The most notable one that I keep going back to is Legend of Zelda, the Wind Waker version is a little different because on your handheld screen, you can pick your weapons, you can do different things. Like it gives you a whole menu system while you play it. On the big screen is where you'll see all the graphical art. So. But there it is. Mario Kart 8. And the anti-patriarchal practitioners. Right? Let me repeat that. Mario Kart 8 and the anti-patriarchal practitioners, right? And now I'm being facetious, or I'm being toxic masculinity, right? and what fatherhood or Father's Day is in America. Uh, it's still what about me when it comes to the sisterhood of women wanting to still march in protest of pro-choice being the deciding factors on he doesn't have a say in the family planning, yada yada, without a ring, and at the same time, it's bring cash to the table is their way of winning, you know, the opportunity for the ring, or you know, because daddy ain't got no dowry, and boy, you know, and barely, you know, they barely know daddy. So, and that's been a major problem and a major issue that's continuing on in the black community, and we've been saying that, and we're the ones that's supposed to take the blame for it. It's the same broken record. So when we hear, yeah, we hear that the Republicans point to the Democrats and say that you know 70% of the, you know, black families are growing up in single, you know, children are growing up in single parent homes, and then they complain about their children being at 30% of their children growing up, and it's like, well, why are you including yourselves? And clearly we have a bigger issue, and your idea of supporting and fixing it is to empower her with cash and defund the men, or lock the men up, or you know, all of the above, right? Hence, that's why men walked away from Kamala continuing that trend, because it's supposed to be naturally you're supposed to be the breadwinner, but we're the ones not being given opportunity, and that's when she started talking about opportunity. But then at the same time was include the illegals, the immigrants, the, you know, white, everybody, the gays, the lesbians, everybody except for the foundational black American fathers that are trying to build their businesses. And there it is. So, but, and I'm linking it to Mario Kart racing because, and that's all real. This is how me and my son started this. It was just me, him, his friend, and his dad, and we did 2 or 3 races, and we tried to link up with more people to do that, and we're still trying to do that. Link up with a, you know, it can be a father-daughter, it doesn't matter, but link up with you, send us your friend code, and we'll race online. You know, that's why we're not pushing the Switch 2, because yeah, the new Mario Kart will be decent, but most of these children can't afford it, or their parents can't afford it, and they're not getting good enough grades to really deserve it, really, to be honest, because a lot of their parents aren't really good at reading, doing mathematics, you know, so we're doing our best to provide services of, you know, Fathers Read 365, all this math, just countless others. Those are just the 2 main ones that I push on Facebook. But I do have other friends that are in the school systems, and the school systems are pushing for more, you know, black male teachers. But then again, is no school choice for black leaders. It's still fight the system that's clearly against the fatherhood of God and the brotherhood of man. Period. So, and that's the anti-patriarchal practitioners. You know, those that are against patriarchal practices, which was the main talking point of exclusion by Black Lives Matter, and they were the result that came after the Rainbow Push Coalition that they're still trying to push to this day. So, yeah, back in the 90s, Jesse Jackson pushed the Rainbow Coalition. They were supposed to become a break off third party political party. There's even video of Bernie Sanders suggesting that. I've shared it. That that the Rainbow Coalition should be separate and be its own political party. But they reneged on that. Instead, it became a hustler against hip hop culture. Blame the rappers, blame the culture, and that's why the culture fought back against C. Dolores Tucker, against Jesse Jackson. That's why I shared that song earlier. Instead of helping us, why don't you go free Mumia? Instead of fighting us, instead of fighting, because hip hop is clearly the path to world peace. They practice it all over the world. I just don't expect to be the number one rapper when I go to Japan. They should have their own number one rapper. And respect the game for that. I don't speak that language, so I really don't know how dope their lyrics are. But I know how dope our lyrics are. You see, knowledge will begin until I finish this song, because the rhyme gets rougher as the rhyme goes on. You sweat as you step about to get hype? Or should you just listen to the man on the mic? You're physically here with me, but how could you tell if it's meant to be hip-hop and you're not mentally as well? I was a fiend before I became a teen. I melted microphones instead of cones of ice cream using orientated. So when hip-hop was originated, it fitted like pieces of puzzle complicated. I grabbed a mic and tried to say yes, sure. They try to take it and say that I'm too small. Smooth, because I don't get upset. I kick a hole in the speaker, pull the plug, then I jet. I was a king before I became I was a king who spit like an Elohim, holding microphones inside of strobes of light beams. Rakim the killer priest, right? There it is. So there it is. I'm out of here on this one. Love God, respect the Lord, seek wisdom. Our Father, all the time, hip hop life, love one. God is love. Time is holy, right? Hip hop is life. Money, that's a fourth dimensional illusion that really doesn't exist. Because life, or should I say hip hop, is the art of making the most out of. Enjoy the rest of y'all day. Peace, compassion, unity. I'll be back with more and more hip hop, video games, and I got a couple videos I'm gonna share with me and my son. So I'll holler at y'all later. Peace.